Welcome back to United Way's Community Talk. I am Jenna Gullo, the Executive Director of MSA United Way. You can get in touch with us by going on to facebook.com/MSAUway and post your comments, your suggestions, your feedback. If you see any needs in the community, many teachers, counselors, neighbors, post them on our Facebook page, and you can browse it, you can like us, you can receive our updates. It's a really easy way to connect with the direct services that are needed right here from people and families that are struggling in our community. Call in if you have any questions during our show to 663-1270. Today, we're going to be focusing on United Way's new education initiative. Historically, we've funded individual agencies, which is good. They work hard. They do a great job. But what we've been seeing and what our donors have been asking for is to measure our impact, to do a better job with reporting back to them. And this was requested of us years ago. So we've transitioned to a community impact model where we're fostering enhanced collaboration to get at the root causes of many of the issues that our teens, our adults, our seniors, many of us are facing in our community. We want to talk with some of our agency representatives that will target at-risk children, work to prevent homelessness, support programs that build strong families by targeting the sources of the struggles that many of these families face. Our United Way campaign supports these local programs, and if we don't raise this extra $60,000, many programs will be at risk of losing their funding, and we can't allow that. One particular program is a program from Charles Hall, and it's a fantastic program we're going to learn more about, and we need your help. So I have Rhonda Stiles-Rohde in from Charles Hall to educate me and our community on why it's so vital that these services exist. Thank you, Rhonda, for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So, Rhonda, for people who might not know of Charles Hall, tell us a little bit about where you are and what you do.
Okay, we are a faith-based organization that started in 1965. We serve youth that have been pulled from their home. They're basically wards of the state, and they are court-ordered to come into our care. We are a residential foster care agency.
And so, Rhonda, what are some of the reasons that kids are pulled from their home?
A lot of times it's abuse or neglect. We had some kids right before Christmas. Two boys pulled from their home, basically because their mom just left them.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
So what's the difference? I'm a foster parent. So for our listeners, talk about what the difference is about why they would be placed in Charles Hall rather than with a foster home.
Well, it depends on their situation, of course, but we are residential. We're like a foster family for them. So we have a home where they have 24/7 care. Our staff act like their family, so take them to and from school appointments and things like that. So the basic things that a foster family or a family would do for them, we do for them.
What I notice too, because I do foster care for all ages, and sometimes it's the older children that have been through so much and they need more intensive services and care. So they either come to me for emergency placement until a bed is open at Charles Hall, or vice versa. They've received treatment at Charles Hall and that individualized care where they're able to re-enter a family-type living environment.
Absolutely. We provide services to take care of the underlying issues that brought them to us to begin with. So get them out into the community, do their counseling. We have in-house counseling that we do with them. And we keep them involved in the community so that we can deal with some of those issues that they have.
What's neat about Charles Hall, too, is that these children are living in homes in a residential neighborhood. So many people don't even realize it's Charles Hall.
Yeah, we have 3 homes in Bismarck. Right now, currently, they have 2 homes that are for girls and one that is for boys. We will be transitioning to an all-girl agency by the end of the month.
And we were talking about that earlier. What's the reason for that?
Well, we actually have had a little trouble keeping our boys' beds full. And so we getting referrals from the state for the custodians. And really what it comes down to is that we are a lower level of care. So those boys and some of the girls as well need a higher level of care than what we can provide. We're not a lockdown agency facility. We don't have holds. We don't have any psychiatric care on the premises. So we provide a lower level of care for them. So when it's somebody that's really needing strong addiction issues or just physical, mental, we sometimes can't care for those.
Mm-hmm. And there are other facilities in the region.
Right. We do receive a lot of training and work towards being able to deal with some of those kids that are a little harder to handle. But unfortunately, training isn't covered by the state. So we kind of have to come up with that and with dollars that we raise as well to train our staff.
Which is an interesting point. In our reviewers, we have volunteers that review the applications year after year. And some of the comments we've received is questions about how much money does the state provide to Charles Hall, because these kids are court ordered by the state to be with you.
Yeah, they're state children.
Yeah.
So we have to raise probably 20% of our budget. So it's about $250,000, $300,000 a year that we have to raise to do and provide the care that we do. That's the state really covers the basic care for the kids, so what they consider kind of bare minimum.
Mm-hmm. What's nice is that the United Way agencies like YMCA provide the free youth rec passes.
Wonderful.
Youth Works. I know that some of my foster kids have gone to Youth Works during the daytime because they can't assimilate back into the daily structure of high school.
Absolutely.
So it's nice to have those partnerships in the community. So one of the programs that if our United Way campaign reaches the goal of $2 million, we will be funding a program for the second year in the row, and it's your independent living program.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell us about what that offers.
Okay. What that does is our coordinator, she gets with every child that comes. She assesses them based on the assets that they possess, what their situation was coming into, what kind of skills do they have. She works closely with the 14 to 16 to 17, 18 if they're leaving, to take those needs that they have and then get them involved in the community, get them some classes, individual classes or group classes, so that they can build on those assets so that when they are and they do leave us, they've kind of got some tools in their toolbox so that they can survive, or they can, get back into school or go to college and things like that.
So you're preparing them to be out on their own, and you're targeting kids who are close to aging out of foster care.
Right. We assess all the kids that come because some of those things, it's basic hygiene needs that they have. And so she assesses all of the kids, but targets specifically with the older ones so that she can get them prepared so that when they get out into society, they're a little more comfortable and can be contributing.
Yeah, what people don't realize is many times these are the kids behind the counter at the grocery store, waiting on you, checking you out in the checkout line. Yeah. Or there's sometimes the kids who, you're passing by on the street or at the school functions, and you may not have any idea what their backstory is.
Right. And there's some pretty horrible stories behind some of those kids, and maybe they have gotten in trouble and maybe they haven't. It might be something that they haven't done at all, but we try to get to the root causes and then do the programming and teach them things throughout our program so that they are better equipped.
Absolutely. And one of my foster children recently, I had her over Halloween, and the cops went by and she said, "I hate the police."
Oh.
And she's been tased by the police, and she's proud of that. And this is a child born and raised right here in North Dakota, but who raised her? She was
That's
alone.
Scary.
Her mother is in the hospital dying of alcoholism. Her father's in prison. She's been on and off of meth. And so raising her two younger siblings, saw an older sibling commit suicide. You don't know what their backstory is. And
Absolutely.
without the intensive care and support of a place like Charles Hall, they may never break through and have a successful path and future ahead of them. Tell us real quickly about your new addictions program.
We're starting an addictions program basically because in the state there isn't a program out there for youth. They can go through the adult program, but it's not the same. They have different issues. So this is something we're very excited about because quite a few of our kids, over 50%, if not more than that, come to us with an addiction problem. Either they are addicted or a family member has an addiction problem. So if we can't get to those those problems and get them to deal with those issues,
absolutely.
they're not going to be able to go back into society or go back into their family or another family and be able to succeed.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Rhonda, and thank you, Gail and Gayla at Charles Hall,
Yeah.
everything that you do there. We're going to be coming back to talk with Chris Hall from Neighbors Network. She's going to be talking about how do we prevent children from getting to this age and being out on their own and needing foster care. How can we help to provide more stability to these families? Join us in just a couple minutes at United Ways Community Talk.